right, guys, let's go. It's Sunday. What are we looking to trade this week in the markets? So the mission is simple. This is our weekly objectives. We have to identify our objectives so that we can stay focused on our plan for the week. You guys, the plan is simple. Identify the pivot from the extreme fears to an oversold bounce. With the SPY coming off 5 straight red weeks, we are entering a high probability window for a relief rally. All right, provided that this 641 level holds on the SPY. All right. Secondly, T-Mobile is holding a weekly flag pattern. All right, 1450 is that crack zone for the rocket ship to take off with this $5 billion buyback. I believe that is going to push us up to 224 if we're able to hold above 214.50 and this is a rally. All right, if this is not a rally and this bounce fails and the flush continues, we are watching still ticker symbol SOC. That's the only place we want to be long if this bounce is a fake out. All right, RSI in the teens on the hourly, that will give us a trend change on Google or on Meta for a 2-day bounce if this is a rally. And let's look at it, you guys. Let's check it out. So we first want to look at the SPY. Let's zoom out to our daily on the SPY, or let's start at the weekly, you guys. We want to start at the weekly. Let me show you guys why we can still go lower. We can still go lower if we pull up this RSI. If we pull up this Fibonacci retracement tool and we map out the bottom of the start of the bounce, the pivot right to the top of the bounce, we still are good down to 589. We're still 50% on the weekly pullback, still has room to go to 589, and that's why I am telling you guys that we need to watch. Go to our 4-hour, we need to watch that 641 level. If we zoom in, we can see Monday around this 640 level was a pivot point for the week, and it topped out at 660. So now we've pulled back under 640. We have a new low, so we're going to map out that low of Friday, and that is the level we will be watching to see if this bounce is fake or not. All right, we have to hold that level. If we break below Friday's low, we're still going to flush. If we hold Friday's low, get back above Friday's high, pull back to confirm that that level is now support, we can push higher and we will be in a bounce rally. All right, it could be a short-term rally, just a couple of days before we go lower, but on the smaller time frames for Monday or Tuesday, this is what we are watching for. So let's look at my first scenario that I've identified and will be on the Discord, you guys, is the bounce for T-Mobile. If we pull up T-Mobile and we look at T-Mobile on the weekly, get rid of this drawing set and we will mark this out in real time. So we have a low and a high on our weekly or our monthly. This is the month of March. So we have a higher low compared to February. Let's zoom into our 4-hour chart. We have a bottom here at 181, a top near 222. All right, and we've pulled back and possibly bounced off 202. All right, so this looks healthy. When we have tech flushing and T-Mobile holding this weekly bull flag, that stops us and our ears get perky. All right, this level right here is what we're looking for to break, pull back, and push higher, with our target being the pivot point of the red flag, of the flag pattern. All right. So that is what we're watching for. We want 214.50 to crack, a pullback over that level, and then that is when we will be looking to secure an option play on T-Mobile. All right. Now let's look at our second scenario real quick. Our scenario 2 is the sucker punch on the Qs. So let's pull up the Qs. We can zoom out to the Qs. I will erase this drawing set so you guys can see where I'm getting these levels from. We can go to our weekly. Same thing as the SPY. We have our pivot point, our top. We're still good back to around 520 for this to be a 50% pullback on the weekly chart. Understanding that, we know that we can still go lower, but we are looking for what possibilities for this coming Monday or Tuesday. All right, so let's zoom into our 4-hour, map out our low of Friday, and you can see just from mapping out the low of Friday, if we look to the left, that has been a previous level of support in the last 180 days. So that tells us that we need to hold that level for a possible bounce rally. And let's look at the hourly, because that's where we want to confirm if this is a bounce or not. So Friday's high gets mapped out, and we are looking for us to hold over that level. We are looking for us to hold over that level. You guys see it. You guys see it. But what if that doesn't happen? What if that doesn't happen, you guys? What if we fail to hold these levels? What if we break the low of Friday? If we break the low of Friday, we could hedge. We could look for the long scenario on SQQs. When one goes down, the other goes up, right? But we need to be aware that on the hourly chart, we are overbought. So we will need this to pull back and hold below Friday's low in order for the RSI to cool down. If we fail to hold Friday's low on the Qs, we fail to hold this level, we can go here, see if we're holding above Friday's low, all right, for the move higher. I say that to say, if we hold and break 88.72 and we pull back over 88.72, the likelihood of it staying above that is slim to none if the RSI is cooked. All right, but if the RSI has cooled down to say the 86 area and the triple Qs fails to hold Friday low, the likelihood of it breaking above 88.70, between 88.30 and 88.70, the likelihood of it breaking and holding above that, the higher probability would side to that. All right, so here is our third scenario, you guys. Let's look at USO. USO has some pivot areas. Let's look at them. This seems to be a selling zone on USO, and the RSI is oversold or overbought, right? It is overbought. So the likelihood of us staying above 25.19, it's a possibility, but I don't want to take those chances. So what I am planning to see on USO is a pullback to hold above 120. Man, if I can get this cursor. All right, a pullback above Friday's low, 120. All right, some sideways trading, and then break above 125. But if that doesn't happen, say it just keeps ripping, we want to look at our ticker symbol SOC. All right, this breaks, zoom out to our 4-hour. If this breaks above Friday's high, our target area will be in the 20s. You see the pivot area at 22, and you see all the sellers up there near 24. So that is our target if we break Friday's high and pull back over that area. All right, so these are the 3 scenarios, you guys. If oil stays above 100 and the headlines are worsening for Iran, this is the safe haven play if the markets don't hold up, you guys. If the markets don't hold up. But T-Mobile is looking real juicy. T-Mobile is looking real juicy over that 1450. This is the plans, you guys. These are the plans. Let's go.